Okay. Hi. Hello. Surprise. It's me and not the avatar. Yes, there we are. How is everybody? So I caught the Rumble stream just in time. I didn't have it up. I went to check it. I somehow clicked Twitter instead, and I don't have a blue check on Twitter. I don't pay for that, so we can't go there. But I got the Rumble fix stream. So hi, Rumble. I know you guys were dancing, and the music came in a little late. You missed the song, but it was just an intro song, so I could check everything. Today is June the 2nd, outside the Mile High city of Denver, Colorado. It is about 65 degrees. We got some much needed rain, so I'm happy for that. It is about 9:05, so I'm a tad late, but I don't usually do that. And the surprise that I had was, hey, the camera, because that's not my gig. But I have somebody so special I want to introduce you to if you don't know him. Then he always has his camera on. Love it. He's a professional musician. He has an original posting on YouTube from 2003, long before a lot of us were there. Now we're going to get into his music catalog. We're going to play some songs. He may play for us live. We're just going to talk and get to know David Joshua. So if you don't know the name, I did put the link. All the links are in the chat or in the thing where you put the links. Go to the thing, click the links, save them because you're not going to want to miss this. I played golf and I was driving home and I was thinking, okay, what are you going to say? What are you going to do? I don't usually do that, but the analogy to how much fun I'm going to have on this and how excited I am is I had Max Egan on in 2021 and it wasn't nearly as much fun as I'm having right now. So without further ado, I want to say hi to singer-songwriter David Joshua.
Hey there.
David, hi. How are you?
Doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How's the weather? How are things in Texas?
Well, here in Dallas, we had some. It was very hot, and then the storm started popping up, and now everything's kind of cooled down, which is cool. So
Nice.
It's. I guess it's technically summer here, but right, like it's summer, but spring weather's still springing up, so that's good.
Yeah, because I don't think the equinox is till like the 21st or 22nd.
Yeah, I've always been told it's Memorial Day weekend. When Memorial Day weekend has happened, we've entered into summer. I'm like, really, or no? Okay. So, but yeah, it always feels like summer in Texas, though. So
I'm sure you guys are well into the 90s already.
Yes, well into the 90s. If your air conditioning isn't working in your car, it's well into the hundreds in the car. So,
For
or
sure.
feels like it. So it's yeah. So I never really caught the fact that you're in Denver.
Yes, yeah.
Thereabouts.
Outside of one of the suburbs. Have you been?
Well, this is gonna. So I've been rushing around and working very hard to get myself pieced together because I am, as of Thursday, I'm leaving Dallas to Amarillo to then transfer myself by Friday to Colorado Springs, and
Wow.
yeah, I've I was out in Colorado last year for 2 weeks. Everybody locally, when they hear me play music, they always come up to me. They're like, "You need to go to the mountains. You need to go to the Rockies. You need to play out there. They would love your music." And in fact, when we have outer towners come, a lot of people who like hear what I'm playing, they'll actually like tip me, and I'll ask them where they're from. They're like from Boulder. They're from Denver. They're from Fort Smith. Like I'm like, I love Dallas. I love my people in Dallas, but like you don't really see that kind of response. And I've also had visions and dreams of the mountains for years, and I'm always like, why? Like mountains are great, and Colorado's great, and the Blue Ridge Mountains out there by Virginia, like all that's great, but like, why? And then all these people started showing up in my life, going, "Hey, by the way, hey, did you ever think, hey, you'd be, So, yeah, I'll be around in Colorado here soon. So,
Wow. Okay,
yeah.
so that's great because there will be lots of promotional opportunities. We're going to be able to shake hands in public or in person. I should say in person, in public, but in person.
Yeah, I think it's a possibility. Yeah, I've got a friend out there. He wants me to connect with some people who are in Denver. So, I'll definitely be making a trip over there. And yeah, sorry. When I heard that, I was like, What?
That's an interesting
Right.
city.
Yeah, there's the word. Yeah, synchronizing.
So you're gonna relocate to Colorado Springs?
Well, I'm not relocating. I'm spending a few months out there, doing some music for some private parties,
Okay,
and seeing about connecting with some more public stuff. I actually did some music in Glenwood Springs, and over there they were like, "Your music would do great in places like Rifle and stuff. Like, you need to get out there." And they gave me contacts and stuff. It's just I was
nice,
running out of resources at the time, and I needed to kick back to Texas. So otherwise, I would have gone out more west.
nice.
Um, but yeah, so the response in Colorado has been, from my experience, really good. It just happened to happen right on the tail end of my stay there, and so I'm hoping to be a little more active when I
That's
get.
a pretty exciting adventure.
It is. It is. It's a beautiful state, and wonderful people. Everyone I met was phenomenal. So just really good people.
Well, that's good. That's nice to hear. I mean, I know that you watch Blue Butterfly in Independent Mini United's channel.
Mhm.
He's north of Denver about an hour,
Yeah, yeah, okay, that's correct, yeah,
and
yeah,
there's a lot of music going on here. Um, I think it'll be a good time and a good thing for you to do. That's fantastic.
yeah, yeah. So I'm so sorry, I just, again, it just synchronicities always excite me because they're, uh, they're fun.
Yeah, we never talked about where I was or any of that stuff, but so part of what I'm interested in, if you're willing to share, is
Mm,
your path getting into music, your journey in music. You're a singer songwriter, which is not, you're in the small percentage of all the artists and musicians. I know they're individual singer songwriters, but the big names that we know don't write their own music. They play it, they perform it, they're performers.
mm,
And being able to write the music and deliver it to me, and we were talking before the stream, that was what's so impactful to me was your lyrics and
mm.
how you tell your story. So I got really interested in finding out more about your actual story. Did you know if you grew up in church singing, if you your vocal range is as wide as I've heard.
Yeah, boy, that's a big story, yeah, so, there's a lyric I heard, from one of my favorite bands, and I'm not even sure if I should name the band because it is kind of embarrassing, but they, uh it was something along the lines of, I was singing when I was born. When I was born, I was singing, right? Like I sang before I could talk kind of thing, you know? And, which in truth, that I think that's a lot of people, right? Like, you generally, when you're born as a baby, you're singing your song.
Sure.
Um, so, um, so, that I don't really remember, like, where it started. It's just my earliest memories are that I had a desire, like this innate desire, to be the lead singer and guitarist, like to sing and play guitar for the biggest worship band for Jesus since I
Okay.
was a little boy. Like that's what I wanted to be. It's what I wanted to do. Um, and uh, and so that desire, I mean, maybe the earliest that I can remember was maybe when I was 8, wanting to do that. And, it was in me. Like, it wasn't something I heard a song and all of a sudden I was like, "Ooh," you know? I heard songs and I liked them, but, this desire. And so when my folks noticed that I was wanting to do music, you know, their thought was, "He really wants to play guitar," is what it is. He wants to be a guitar player, which there's truth in that. But they were like, you know, "Okay, where do we start him?" And, they actually we were going to a private school, uh, private, private Christian school, and my folks felt like the Lord had called them to go do mission work in Fiji, Fiji Islands. This was way back, and, um, and that school did not like the idea of us being taken there to the mission field. They didn't like that at all. They felt that was not a good thing. And so my folks prayed and they were like, Lord, what do we do? And their sense was that God was saying homeschool them. So when they started homeschooling us, they were like, y'all are all going to learn piano. So that was
Nice. Yeah.
the first thing. Like, we don't care if you want to sing, play guitar, play saxophone, violin, whatever. You're going to learn piano first, right? And me being the wonderfully obedient boy that I was, I hated that. I did not like it. I did not like sitting at Miss Dillard's house and having to learn to play piano. And but I did, and I learned. My best piano days were those days: Mozart, Bach, all the rest. And I really wanted to play guitar. I remember sitting on that piano bench and telling Miss Dillard, I want to learn guitar. And God bless her heart. She was like, I know you do, and I love you, and I care about you, and your parents love you. They care about you. And here's the thing, piano is the basis for all of that. And she just really began to draw me out of like, I will not do this, because I was that kid. I was just, if I didn't want to do it, I wasn't going to do it. So my mom jokes, she's like, we could only feed you chicken nuggets. You would never eat a burger. You would never eat a burger. We'd give you a burger and like you'd take the meat out and you'd only eat the bread. Like you would not do it. So it was one of those things where I guess Miss Dillard saw he is not going to touch the piano until I just convey to him as best I can that, look, this is a good start. So piano, and then we started a homeschool band, and so they were like, hey, pick an instrument. And I picked trumpet. I picked trumpet because I was raised in a home where you could only listen to Christian music. That was the only thing we were allowed to do. And that's something against my parents. Like grown up now, I look at that and go, I can make that. Okay, that makes sense.
Kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Man, but I was very obedient about that. It's very strange. Like when nobody was looking, I was very obedient about things. And I didn't even know there was a tuner on like to change the station on the radio. And one day I went down to turn the volume knob. There's a volume knob on my radio, and there's a tuner. They looked the same, but they had the labels on top of them. But I wasn't paying attention to the label, and I accidentally moved the dial. And I was like, oh no, what did I just do? Now, my sister, who was really the rebel, she had already done this, and she already had heard pop music, and she was excited about that, and was like, you got to listen to this stuff. I'm like, no, it's the devil's music. And so I actually did. I came across a song, and the song was it. This is what it sounds like when doves cry. Dun, da, 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 dun, dun. When I heard that, I was like, what is this? And I was in love. I was just like, this is amazing. And I liked it because I love Jesus, right? And I love the worship music and the Christian tunes and such. But it all kind of sounded the same. It lacked creativity to me.
Especially at the time.
Yeah, definitely. Right? And so I started diving into pop music about the time that I was taking up trumpet. And with that, I was diving into motion picture music. And I was really into like David Arnold, who did the soundtrack for Independence Day and stuff. So I really liked that kind of thing. And I started realizing, maybe I want to write motion picture soundtracks. Maybe that's really what I want to do. And honestly, as a boy, there was a lot of things going on in my life, and as I know, young and all that, but like as a boy, I was adopted, and I was adopted out of a family that was really bad. So bad the state of Texas had to step in and go, you cannot have these kids. We're taking them. And then when we were taken to foster care, it was my sister and I, this state, their eye was so close to the foster care, they had to pull us out of foster care after foster care, realizing they're abusing these kids.
Right.
Like they were eyed on us until they went, okay, we got to take them well out of this area because this is just not working. And that's a God story in itself. But I say that to say at start, I want to sing and worship and play. That desire kind of started going away. It didn't go away. I started burying it. I started going, oh, well, I can't have that. I'm not
Okay.
allowed to have,
Right.
right? And and so as I'm playing, and I hope I'm not dragging things out too long, but this,
No, not at all, David. No. I
um,
do want to shout out homeschoolers real quick because
yes,
that's a big deal.
um, and so I'm learning the trumpet. We're playing band music. I remember our band director eventually was a guy named Scott Himmel. I was the only trumpet player in the whole band, so I was like all the chairs, I guess.
And
And but he always challenged us to go above and beyond. So while the high school students in the public schools were learning high school music, we were learning college level music, but we were learning it like we weren't skipping things. Like he was making sure to mesh the two together, the lessons together, so that we would rise because he believed we could do more,
sure.
and we could, and he taught us that. And um, I remember somewhere in that time frame, um, I I remember singing to myself, and I hated the sound of my voice, and I hated it so much I didn't ever want to talk again. I was like, I don't want to sing, I don't want to talk again, right? Like I don't, I, I just don't want it. And of course, that's also about the time that I started discovering rap, hip hop,
Oh,
and R&B. And so I was like, maybe I could be a rapper, is I really liked the beats. I liked the rhythms, I liked the sound of the music. I didn't understand what they were saying. I always acted like I knew, but I had no idea what they were talking about in the rap. But I
sure.
liked the rhythm and the move and like kind of the story and the kind of the grind and like um I don't know, there was something about it that I really liked that really stood out at the time. And in fact, I actually liked a lot of Eminem stuff on the radio until I listened to one of his records. And then when I listened to one of his records, like I think I had the Holy Spirit because the Holy Spirit, that was the moment he was like tugging me going, "Nuh-uh, no." And I'm like, "No, yeah, absolutely not." It was like the depiction of terrible things taking place. And I was like, no, I can't do that. Um so we did band and we started doing a jazz ensemble, and this is throughout high school. And we did a summer camp for band. Interestingly enough, it was held in Salina, Texas, which I just read an article today. Salina, Texas is the fastest growing city in America right now.
Oh,
It's so weird because I remember going there and there's nothing out there but this like broken down school and broken down farm equipment and you know um and now it's like growing. But then I remember we had summer camp, and we UNT has a really good music school. It always has, University of North Texas. And so we would actually we somehow came into a relationship with the students there who were like high level students who just needed to fill they needed to fill certain obligations for their classes, but they also really cared. Like one of the guys was a saxophonist who was in the Navy, and he was like first chair, first chair, first chair in the Navy band, and wanted to expand his horizons and everything with his music, and went to UNT and helped teach some of our saxophonists. I think his name was Ian. I mean, just a gentleman among gentlemen, very kind man, very smart. In fact, he is the first man who set me down to teach my first and only lesson on how to write songs, because I kept pestering my parents, which was very difficult because I became a very reserved, quiet kid, and I was very outgoing at one point, and over the years I became quiet and reserved and very depressed, and so he taught me my first lesson. It was Western music. It was basis of the Western music, right? Imagine that. And and then on this summer camp, this band camp, summer camp, I remember a trumpet teacher, and he said, something that would improve your playing as a trumpet, you're really good, but like to improve your playing, sing the notes.
oh,
And I was like, no,
not a
like,
chance.
no, I'm not doing that. And he's like, you got to do it. Like, he's like, you don't have to, but like, if you want to improve you got to do it, like, and I know you got it. I don't know how he knew this. He just, he saw something, and I did the ooh kind of thing. He's like, that's good. You can go up. I know you can go up. And then I was like, ooh, doing that kind of thing, and he was like, "You need to be in a choir."
Nice.
And he went and talked to my mother about it. I remember standing right next to my mother. I love my mom; she's wonderful, but you know, there's a lot going on and stuff at the time, and she laughed. You know,
Oh,
oh, he has a good voice. Not David. No, no, no. And we can't, we just can't do that. And he really pressed her. He was like, I think his talent really isn't singing. I don't think it's in the, like the trumpet he's good at, and he could go to college, he could go to university if he wants to. But I think if you tap in now, like he could be a really good singer. And I don't know how he saw that. Looking back, I have no clue how he saw that because I didn't see it, and clearly nobody else saw it. And um, I think that may have been the thing that cracked me to at least privately start working on it because, you know, I wanted to improve my trumpet playing and,
sure.
but I was beginning to write stuff. I was beginning to write all kinds of things. And then I met a girl. We had a homeschool co-op where like all these homeschoolers once a week, we'd get all together in one place at a church and we'd do classes like you would normally do. We'd get our assignments and we'd go home, and for the week we'd do our stuff, and then we'd meet again. And I met a girl there and fell for her. And
Always a girl, isn't it?
it's always a girl, bro. And like I just start writing like crazy, man. I still have like buckets of papers from that time, and I keep them to remind myself, David, you are only human. Like um and boy, I started writing poetry and I started writing songs, and some of it was actually kind of okay. I was like, you know, like even today I look at it and I go, that was a pretty good line. Where'd you get that from, dude? Like, wait, where'd you get that from, little guy? Um, and that's when I actually started. There's a song I have out there now, um, Winter Glow. And we had a few acoustic guitars around. Scott Hamel played acoustic guitar, the band director. And he encouraged, he encouraged everything in it. He was like, if you want to pick up a guitar, go for it, man. Like, and at this point, nobody around me wanted me singing or playing guitar, you know, in my family. It was like,
Right.
no. Um, and again, that's something against them. I want to be very clear. Like
No, for
you know,
sure.
that's life, man. Life happens. And um, I remember picking up a guitar and trying to learn it. My brother tried to teach me some chords. I just couldn't quite get it. And so one day, out of frustration, I just started tapping on a few strings. Do 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 do. In fact, it was I have a guitar. I could do it.
Nice.
But it was and it was as simple as, you're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life, if there is such a thing. So it was stuff like that. And
Sure.
and you know, that's where I guess you could say the songwriting started. I must have been 14 or 15.
Wow.
And and I remember listening to a lot of music then, a lot of grunge, a lot of rock, but I wasn't really into it because it all like the worship music at the time, it didn't sound different. It all sounded the same to me. It sounded
Sure.
like just her and and then I heard this one band just out of the blue. One day I remember listening to 102.1 The Edge, the alternative station, and I heard this orchestra playing with this rock band and this guitar that sounded different from anything I'd ever heard before. And this man shouting with the voice of an opera singer, but in a rock band with conviction that I could identify with. And he was shouting, "One love, one life," you know? And I had no idea who that was. I didn't even catch it by the DJ because it was playing out and then going straight to commercial as opposed to, you know, going into a DJ. So I didn't actually
Sure.
get to hear who that was. And I don't know how I figured it out, but I eventually figured out it was U2. But I didn't know the name of the song, which it's one, but it's like at the time I had no idea. So I just ended up starting buying their entire catalog because I'm trying to find this song, you know, Really smart kid I was, you know? You're welcome, you too. Your entire catalog bought by a little teen kid. Uh, going to Barnes& and Nobles and, does his chores, and then does the chores that he gets paid for, and then he goes and he takes all that money to buy a record to try to find one, you know? Like,
Sure.
I thought Two Hearts Beat as One might have been it, and that wasn't it. That was from the '80s, and it was a cool song, but at any rate, um, something about that moment, that band, that song, that sound just immediately took me back to that boy who wanted to sing and play guitar,
Nice.
and it was like, "I gotta do this." Um, and for anyone out there listening, that's just like, this is kinda how it goes, right? Like, as a man of faith, this is how I see it go anyways. Like, you have that aha moment, and then here comes the challenge. Here comes the valley.
Fair
Are you
enough.
sure? Are you ready for this? Right? And boy, I tell you, I started with the guitar to try to figure that one out. Boy, I tell you, I got so angry, I couldn't play it to save my life. Yeah, I could do this little thing, but like you can't make a career just doing this all day. You can actually, by the way, but
If you're Jack
you know,
Johnson, you can.
yeah, I'm about to say, um, you have to really learn how to play, and you got to have rhythm. You know, now I didn't hear this or know this at the time, but Elvis Presley said, "If you ain't got rhythm, you ain't got nothing." Right? So, like, you know, where's the rhythm at? And man, I was so frustrated. I was so angry in so many ways, and I got very angry with God. And I was like, basically, as a kid, I'm like, "Why did you give me this, but not give me the ability to do it? I hate you." You know, like I was pissed and angry and sad. And um, I remember one night just weeping and crying in my bed, and I begged him. I asked him. I said, "Please, would you please give me the ability to play the guitar?" And I fell asleep. The next day, I picked up the guitar. I could play chords. The next day, I could pick her up and I could just,
Wow.
you know, and I could even do things like one that came to me very, very easily was that kind of rhythm. Just
Sure.
you know, which I remember the moment I struck that, right? I told God I didn't want it. It's like, "What? You just asked for it? He blessed you with the ability to do it. Now you're telling him you don't want it." That is
That's how
so true,
humans roll.
right? Like, it's so the way we are. Um, because it didn't sound like the way I wanted it to sound, right? It's like, "Oh,
Okay.
really? Oh, really? So you're gonna tell God how this is supposed to go? Good on you." You know, which of course, I think from God's perspective, his looking back, you know, if I may, it seemed to me he was kinda looking at me going, "You think it should be a way. I'm showing you multiple ways to do this, and when you're ready, we'll do that."
Okay.
Because music
To put
isn't
it
meant to
together.
be pigeonholed in one little area. Like, it's meant to, like, explore. Like,
And you were a teenager, though.
I was a teen. Yeah.
So, I mean, I know grown adults in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and plus
Mm.
who can't understand the gifts they were given and how to apply them. So, for a teenager to question that or be angry, yeah, that makes perfect sense to me.
Well, I
But
mean,
quite a big load for a young guy too.
well, a lot of adult things happened to me before the age of 12, so I guess it was
Um,
the trade-off, right?
sure.
Um, I um, the singing bit hadn't come quite yet, but I remember I tried so hard to sing like Bono because I was like, "Well, that's how I should do it, sing up like he does." And it, wasn't so good. You know, I couldn't carry a tune because 'cause I'm just shooting up there and, like, I have no idea what I'm doing, and my folks would even get annoyed by it, and rightfully so. It was bad. It was terrible. In fact, my dad was amazing. He had a pink radio, through his company that you could record. He had a mic on it, so you could record on it. And I took my boombox and I took recording tapes, and I would record one tape with a track, a sound, a basic sound. I would then pick up that tape, put it in the boombox, put another tape, a fresh one in the pink radio, play the boombox one while I put another sound on top of the boombox one being recorded on that pink one, and I just keep swapping tapes, you know, Of course, the tape hiss would get loud, but I mean, that's how I first started recording songs. And so they would hear that kind of thing and they'd be like, don't quit your day job, kid. Like, keep learning. Not that direction though, because that's not you're not doing nothing with that until I discovered my lower range. Because I was like, this upper thing's not working. I probably need to go down. So I started singing low, that day, that day, that day, just started low, and people started hearing that and they were like, that kind of sounds like Johnny Cash. That's actually pretty good. And so that became my identity at that point. It wasn't that I really was that much of a fan of Johnny Cash. It's just that, hey, there's a data point that is allowing the people around me to be like, no, 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 no. Finally going, that's okay. Right.
Right.
So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I have some permission now to move forward in this somehow. Otherwise, I feel very lonely and vulnerable and I think I'm done. Right. But I can't be because this thing inside of me won't let me be done. And so I was writing and recording about that time, like just all kinds of like I would stay up late at night and I would write entire albums. I would envision how the album would be, get the opener, then the second song, and then you got that third song. It's going to be the big song they're going to put on the radio, and then the really big one, that's going to be the fifth track, right? Everything after that's kind of throwaway, but you want it to be good enough for the fans. I didn't have any fans. I was like,
And it still has to fit the album.
yeah, it still has to fit the album. But I always felt like every record needed a really good closer, needed a really good opener and a really good closer, like bookends, like as an author, writing a book, like hit him hard with that first chapter to bring him in, right? And then at the end, as the scriptures say, finish strong. Like don't whimper.
And
Like,
finish the story. Don't leave them
hanging.
finish the story.
Unless you want to do like a duplicate CD that comes out later, you know what I mean? Like that, just creative little ideas like that. And and I started recording on like a 4-track Tascam onto SoundForge, which is Screen Blast SoundForge. And then I started putting songs out on Pure Volume. And I think it's still around, but back then you could put songs up there and people could listen. And I must have been 16. And just putting songs out. And I figured my name wasn't good enough, so I needed to come up with a cover name. I really wanted a band, but I wasn't good with people. So I was like, what do I do? So I ended up calling myself Clutch. I got a MySpace right when about MySpace is coming out. And so I put out Clutch and Here's My Music and Winter Glow and That Day and all this kind of stuff and Wasteland and da 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 da. And then I got a message from a fan of Clutch subsequently who was like, which show were you, who opened for you at this show? And I was like, I have no idea. What are you talking about? I was like, at first I was like, am I being invited to open up for somebody? Like, what's going on? Like, I was so confused. And they're like, well, you do know there's a band named Clutch. And I said, I had no idea. And man, if there's a Clutch fan out there or Clutch fans out there, or the band ever somehow comes across this, amazing fans. This person was very sweet to me. They were just like, no, it's all good, man. The Clutch is a real band and da-da-da. You don't have to change your name, but it might be a good idea because it would probably confuse people, kind of thing.
So he wasn't hating on you.
No, he wasn't. He was very kind. And he even liked my music. He was like, I actually like your music. I did listen to it. I was like, this is pretty cool.
Nice.
So I went with Verdo, which it was a name I made up. I was just like, nobody could possibly have this. And then after a while, like a week or two, I was like, that is a stupid name. So I was like, I'll keep David because there's a guy named David Bowie and he had to change his name because there was a David, I forgot what his original name was. So he had to change it to Bowie. So David Bowie. So I was like, well, I'll follow his footsteps there and I'll change mine to David Trust. And so I went with David Trust for a long time as a solo act. In fact, the church I grew up in, strangely enough, they didn't really, I guess they didn't notice. They noticed me when I was a boy, and I guess as a teenager, it kind of disappeared from them. And then when I came back as a young adult, they legitimately thought my name was David Trust.
Wow.
Like they thought I was, that was my name.
Here's a new guy. Yeah, David Trust.
Yeah. And so, yeah. So I now, admittedly, in my deep voice, I was singing with a technique which wasn't good at the time, but I was writing and I was recording and I was putting out songs. And and records. Because I was making little records because I could do it. So why not?
Yeah.
And at any rate, so that's more or less how everything really got started. Before
Interesting.
bands, before um, in fact, the voice that you hear today, the one that you were talking about, you got such a wide range. It wasn't until after my divorce that I discovered that I actually have that, to be
Wow.
like, it's
Yeah.
that recent. Like, 2020 is about the time when I really Northern Horizon, that record, is where I knew that I had something more than just down below. Down below is great, but, like, there's something more up there.
Hmm.
And, and again, it's because, I always was afraid and scared because people laughed, even the
Sure.
falsetto bit, I was very scared of. Um, and, uh And I think a lot of that broke when I went through yet another moment with God in private where I was yelling at him. And when I was yelling, I was going up there. And
Hmm.
as I'm yelling at him, I felt in my spirit, hey, by the way, you can go there if you like.
You can sing that high.
Mhm.
Wow.
And I was like, I was still angry and upset. I was in a lot of pain. And I was just like, noted.
Okay, I'll put
However,
that over here, but I'm still on this other
I
thing.
feel like I'm literally going to die. Where are you?
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot there, but
Well,
hopefully I'm not saying too much or being, that's a lot, but
it is a lot. I don't think it's too much. I appreciate that you shared that much.
yeah,
I do want to know. I forgot your piano teacher's name.
Miss Dillard,
Did she help you with guitar down the road? Did that help?
she did not. She was just
No, but did knowing piano help?
knowing piano. So no, I hated
Okay,
the piano. At
got
that
it.
time, I hated the piano. I didn't want the piano. Like there were some things that happened. Uh, Probably wouldn't be wise to talk about, but things that happened where I hated the piano.
Got it.
I identified the piano as part of the pain, part of the problem.
So it didn't aid you in your guitar playing down the road.
Well, I think the guitar and the piano are their own instruments. I love the piano now, like that. If I'm over that now, but they're two different beasts to me.
Sure. Yeah.
So when Ian was teaching me on the piano, that was the beginning of me reconciling with the piano. Piano was good for motion picture, romance songs, deep ballads, and the guitar was more for drive and rock and folk and words that I didn't know at the time, but that, how we would describe it, now. But
Sure.
yeah. So, but I am certain that the things she taught me helped me, and I just
Got
didn't
it.
see it.
No,
So
fair enough. Yeah.
in a way, I guess that it's kind of like a yes, no, I
I
guess.
was curious because I've always heard people always say, well, if you learn this and then you learn this, it's going to be a lot easier to learn that and so forth. But
And yes, if I may, absolutely. I agree with I mean, on paper and the way it should be, the piano teaches you the treble, right? It's the lead, it teaches you the bass. It's a kind of a percussion. You're doing chords and notes, right? And like the basics of music theory and stuff, it does help you with that, especially if you're a visual person and you need to see it laid out. Like
okay.
it really does help.
Yeah.
Um, the beauty of that piano bit, I guess, is that with my vocals, it did really help because I was able to like visualize it to know where I was.
Your
As I
scales. Yeah.
Yeah, as I learned that, then I could do it away from the piano and be like,
Okay.
okay, because on a guitar that was tough. It's like, what am I looking at?
Right. Yeah.
At any
No,
rate,
that's awesome. That's interesting.
yeah.
So, what I'd love to do, if it's okay with you, I'm going to play
Mhm.
one of your songs
Oh, no. Okay,
and then we'll get back into this conversation.
absolutely. Yeah,
All right, sir.
thank you, Mike.
Let's see if I can do this. I can do it, but over 50, so need some help. There we go. Do you have any preference of the ones we talked about?
Not in particular, just whatever you feel led to go on. I'm down.
Sounds great. Here we go.
If you were a breath away from your last, could you look on the day of your past and sing a song of jubilee? Or would it be a song of misery? There's not a word you and I could ever do or be, but Jesus Christ has victory. So while there's still time, call upon his name, for time is coming short. Cry out, Yeshua, HaMashiach, I surrender my life to you.
All right.
Oi. Yes.
That is a good one.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's the last one off of the most recent record, The Threshold, which it's I remember after going through one of my bands, I was recording with this guy who we met through it was a punk group they were with, and they were really into what I was doing, and one of the guys there was like, "I would really love to hear a record, just your guitar and your voice, nothing else. That would be awesome." And so I promised him I'd do it, and it wasn't until 2018 that I did it. And after I did that record, I think it's These Handwritten Letters, I thought to myself, maybe every decade I'll do one in honor of that, 'cause that was fun.
Nice.
But just as the instrumentation is stripped, I figured the writing will be stripped, i.e., it'll be very obvious. Oh, he's singing about Jesus. Okay, gotcha. And so with The Threshold, that's the one for this decade, and it's I mean, it's basically the bullet points of the Bible, you know? The garden, the sin, the tribes, because I went through a period there after my divorce where starting in 2019, I just started reading the Bible cover to cover every year, different translations. And as I did, I just, you can't read that book without not growing and learning something. So that's, I guess that record that I just put out it was mostly influenced by all those years of that kind of thing. So
Sure.
yeah.
Well, I can tell you something I did notice too, and I'm gonna get into this before I forget. I did notice that your video style has changed pretty significantly over the years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I think for positive, I mean, we all grow and we learn and you try different things. And I noticed it's not like you're building necessarily, maybe, and this could be my interpretation, be wrong, but it almost seems like you're just trying something that fits each album and each song, as opposed to
Mm.
I'm going to learn how to do this, and then I'm going to build on that and build on that, and then I'm going to make this cinematic production.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very scatterbrain, shotgun from the hip kind of thing. Um it's something I like to explore. It's fun, to do. And I think especially in today's day and age, it kind of there was an artist, a Christian artist I really liked as a boy. His name was Carmen. and he did like songs like Satan Bite the Dust and all this stuff, but he wrote all of his music. He performed all of it. And when I say performed, he basically sang the gospel over and over again. And he did music videos for the
Oh,
songs. And so I think that may have influenced me in like the whole like doing the whole thing, not just a piece of it, but like the whole thing, and trying to make sure it fits in with what you're trying to really. It's been said the song tells you what to do, right? And so like if the song is conveying this kind of imagery, go with that imagery. If you can reach there, I can tell you right now um there are so many visions for these songs, for music videos and stuff that I would love to do, some cinematography stuff like that I would really love to see, but that requires connections, it requires
sure.
resources that just um are not there, and that's okay. If it's God's will, it'll come. If not, then it's all right.
Sure.
So we do the best we can do with what we have, and if it's not there, it's not there, and you keep going. And so that's kind of how I try to operate.
Nice. Well, and this I touched on this when we talked before the stream here, but I did some digging, and this is just on YouTube.
Mm,
So I don't know if all of your media is on YouTube and Bandcamp and other places. This is just YouTube.
mm,
So from 2003, and I hope that all y'all listening. Oh, real quick, I got to do something. One thing I forgot to do
mm.
is I want to say hi to Independent Many United in
Hey there,
YouTube.
Vinny.
Indy's here. Preliminals here. I did see JM, Cat in a Birdcage. Who else is here? LostGeo.com. Hi, nice to meet you. Haven't seen your name before. Glad you were here with us. 1111 code. Hey, 1111 code stopped by. Nice to see you. Been a long time. Forest Moon Pops. Forest Moon Pops got been around. Polly Nation. Polly, haven't seen you for a long time either. Voynich. Good to see you because I really don't stream on YouTube, but I know all these folks from YouTube. Karen Carpenter, Sue Finelli. Good to see you. Annette. Hi. Hope you're well. I'll be seeing you in a few weeks. Dr. Law. Again, long time. Good to see you. And I got a few people hanging out in Rumble. Karen Carpenter, Carl and Hanny. Hope Hanny's well. Tom Tom, Ellie B, Vinny Vengeance, also known as the Black Sheep Patriot, is here. Crimson Veritas, also known as Independent Mindy United. She's doing double duty, dropping your links in both chats.
Oh, thank you.
Which I very much appreciate.
Mm.
I did see Conspiriality and Sweets was here and Hiker Emoji. There's a couple other friends of mine in Rumble who stream on the same night, and in a half hour, all those people will come over. So welcome when you get here. I do want to thank y'all for being here. I hope you're interested. I can't necessarily say that you will be a fan after this, but I know you will understand where David's coming from. And I know you'll respect not only his work ethic, but his journey. And that's really what I wanted to do this for. For myself, I wanted to learn all this stuff for me. And I thought, I'll reach out and see if he wants to make a phone call. And I'm like, that's going to be creepy. So let's just put it on the internet and it won't be as creepy. But back to YouTube. Let me get over here. There we go. So on YouTube alone from 2003, David Joshua has released 82 singles, 24 EPs. And if you're not familiar with what an EP is, it's between 2 and 7 songs. So he's got half a dozen that are 2 songs. He's got 15 that have 5 songs. He's got some that have 7 songs, 24 EPs, and a whopping 19 full albums. And on those albums are 8 to 15 songs. I was getting overwhelmed with this stuff, and then I got excited about another aspect of this. So I didn't go back and count every song. That's hundreds. His published works on YouTube are 125 in 23 years. So I got curious. I got, what does that equate to? What does that actually mean? So then I went to use a tool I don't use, but only on special occasions. And I went over to Twitter, and I wanted to ask the computer machine what that means. And I know you guys can't see this, so I'm just going to briefly read through a couple things. My question was, from 2003 to 2026, who has produced the most work, not including sales, but production? And it says, here's a reasonable approximate ranking of prolific solo artists based on available discography data and releases in that time frame, studio albums, EPs, singles. They included mixtapes, which whatever, but numbers are estimate, blah, blah, blah. Buckethead has released between 300 and 700, which is a huge range, but even let's say 300. Gucci Mane, 100 to 250. Ryan Adams comes in third at 30 to 40 studio albums and EPs. So, and then there's the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, but by Grok's account and my accounting on YouTube only, David, you're number 3 of production, which is like, I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. So then I carried it on and I hit the tell me more stuff. And oops, I lost it, but I'll read it to you anyway. This artist fits the prolific solo musician profile well and can rank high in certain indie singer or songwriter contests on contexts on Bandcamp and elsewhere. Bandcamp page features multiple full albums like Threshold 2026, Commonwealth, Opulent Shadow, Northern Horizon, plus track singles, full discography, bundles available, output highlights, reference to a 14th album, multiple releases in recent years from 22 to 26, mentions of extensive prior catalog, one video notes 50 albums impacted on YouTube music, strong focus on original songwriting with rock folk anthem styles, relevance, high volume of polished albums, EPs over 2000 to 2026, especially accelerating recently, making him a strong Bandcamp YouTube independent example. He stands out for consistent, high quality output rather than ultra short form spam. Updated approximate top prolific solo artists. They basically recreated my thing and said, yeah, Buckethead, Gucci Mane, Bandcamp specialist, but artists like David Joshua, Ryan Adams, and other hyperactive independents fill strong mid to high ranks depending on exact criteria.
Wow. Yikes.
So I didn't know if you knew that you were number 3.
This is news to me. This is, for those asking, yes, it's lonely out there.
Well, and that doesn't equate to anything other than your output.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't talk about how many people love per whatever or any of that stuff. But earlier I'd mentioned to you that every time I've seen you talk, you say, I just write songs. Like it's, I just write songs. Well, shit, you do just write songs and a boatload of them. And from my vantage point, they're all good. I'm sure there's stuff in there that you're not, whatever, but I can tell you pour yourself into what you do. And that is, to me, a subject matter expert. So
thank you. No, that's very kind of you. That all kind of, wow. Yikes.
It's a lot, huh?
Maybe I need to slow down. Maybe it is time to take a sabbatical. The Colorado Rockies are calling. I'm actually going out there to do even more of this. So great.
No, that's good. That's
Lord Jesus. Oh, wow. Thank you for that, Mike. I had no idea.
I kind of figured you didn't from listening to you on a couple panels and hearing you. I kind of figured you didn't realize how much you've already produced.
I will say that as a performer, right, if you can call it that, it is kind of a downside because you write the record, you record it, you put it out there, and then you move on, and then you forget about the songs, and then you get requests for them. Interestingly enough, every now and then I get a request, and I'm like, I don't know how to play that song. I wrote the dang thing. So, yeah.
Do you feel like playing something
right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to actually play one off of Commonwealth. And you had mentioned something before we got on here about how God carried you. And then I'd been thinking about playing the song You Carry Me, which is about God carrying you through things. And obviously it's open to interpretation for anyone out there. That's just what came to me when I wrote it, and that doesn't happen often. Like I told Mike before we got up on here, a lot of times I write songs, I have no idea what I'm doing, like what I'm talking about at the time or what's being said. But this one I haven't played in a while, so hopefully, unless Mike, you've got a specific request that I might be able to know.
You know, I do not at this point. I love Cadillac, but if you want to play that, play that.
Okay. If we've got time, I'll throw on some old Cadillac for you.
Right on. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There we go.
All right. I need to bring up the guitar. I'm a genius that did not tune his guitar. All right. Thank you, everyone, for this. Stars above the sky, lighting up the dark. It's as if you have left your mark, and you carry depths of your heart. The stars is hanging in the air. If I close my eyes, it's as if you're right there, and you carry your goodness transcends. I'm the sense, and when the stars fall from the sky, we won't ever have to wonder why.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you.
That's a great song. Melanie Moran in the YouTube chat says, loving it, David. Thank you. You've got a lot of fire guitar and a lot of musical notes over there. Independent Many United says, amazing, David. I'm your Huckleberry. Very nice. You did get a request for lanterns.
Oh, Lord. Oh, I think I know who did that. Was it Forced Prop?
That is Forest Moon Prop.
Forced Moon Prop.
Yeah.
John, why would you do this to me? John Martin is he's He's a talented drummer, an amazing friend. We did a band together back in 2011, 2012 called Velvet Guard, and it was probably my favorite project I ever did outside of solo. In fact, I would even rate it above even what I'm doing now. Like I look back at that, I'm like, that was the peak. As an artist, as a writer, I don't know, but as an artiste, that was the peak. It was and admittedly that was the time where we got some strange requests, man. Like some like I'm talking like industry requests where it was like maybe we're not doing that. Like
Got it.
Yeah, so at any rate, so John, I'm well out of practice that one, brother. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm so out of practice on that one. I do know the old Cadillac though, so we can do that one later for sure. How about this, John? I'll practice it up, and when I get back from Colorado, I'll play it for you directly. Just you and me, brother.
Oh, there you go. I think that's fantastic and says a lot about you that somebody you did play with is here hanging out listening to you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
John still in music?
I think he kind of stopped drumming and stuff for the moment. He does a lot of the prop work. That's actually why his channel. He does really amazing like prop work for like Stormtroopers and Boba Fett and that kind of thing, like Star Wars and that kind of thing.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and there's actually a lot of really amazing things happening right now for him in that regard. So that involves like bands and stuff and people. So in those bands, so it's really exciting. I'm not going to give too much away, John. I'm going to try.
He just shifted his art, so that's awesome.
Yeah, but he's still, to this day, I will say, I've played with a lot of really good drummers. He is still, as far as I'm concerned, the best. And just because he, for me personally, fit everything. Like he doesn't overplay. He plays to the song. He expands songs. Like he would I would write something that seemed pretty basic, and then he would drum on it and be like, I kind of change things up if that's okay. And I listened to it, I'd be like, holy crap, they gave it a whole new life, bro. Like it's always fun to mesh two different sounds that you would think that could never work, and it does. And we got to enjoy that kind of fruit labor.
So you two are vibing.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
In that musical sense.
Oh yeah.
That's important. I was asked to mention from the Rumble chat, there's a town called Calhan, Colorado.
Calhan, Colorado, okay.
Which is about 30-ish miles, maybe not even that far, 20 to 30 miles east of Colorado Springs. And one of my friends does a thing called Jammin' the Plane. And he brings out some musicians come. He's got a comedian that shows up, and we hang out for 3 days, June 19th, 20th, and 21st.
Ooh.
I don't know if it's going to fit your timeline. I don't know if you're going to have like an afternoon to come out. You can shoot some guns. You can hang out with some cool people. It's something that he does. This is year number 6. I'll be down there with a couple of our digital friends from overseas. One's coming in from Denmark, one's coming in from England, and we're gonna hang out and do the Colorado stuff. So you can get with me offline if that's something that you can attend, or if I don't know what your time frame is. You don't have to tell anybody where you're going to be, but
yeah, if
you decide that's something, then you've officially been invited by Fathead's Adventure and Homesteading.
Oh wow, thank you. Wow, I'll need to check my schedule, but if it's open, I would love. It would be an honor to go out and do that. That would be wow. Yeah.
Good folks. We potluck. We grill some food, hang out, watch the stars. Some folks like to experiment with things that are mind altering, and some don't, and it's fine. Yeah. Dogs are welcome as long as they don't bite chickens and kids, and it's just a really cool hang. So.
Awesome. Wow.
You've got it in your brain. Got it in my brain. To have it at. Yeah. We'll see what happens, but.
Yeah. Wow.
I also wanted to say hi to Trouble Minds Media. Michael Strange, he's a great guy. He investigates or talks about things that are not necessarily material in this realm.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a good broadcaster. He runs a YouTube and Rumble stream. He swings by. I go by his place. He's over in Rumble. He brought all of his people. So Ms. Puff, Nostradamus, they didn't get to hear your amazing story. So I'm going to encourage them all, go back and listen. It's like 45 minutes of a good conversation we had that's really interesting, and you're going to learn more about David that way. But I think people over here, Gordo's here, and they're kind of looking for some more music. So I'm going to play another one of your songs.
Right on. And
Sound okay?
I don't know if I should tell that story because you mentioned the guy who investigates the paranormal.
Yeah, you can go for it. Talk.
Well, actually, we'll go and play the song.
Okay.
I'm gonna get a little something real quick, and then I'll be back. But yeah, I've got a story. I've got a story.
That sounds great. I think. Let's see. Yep, we're gonna play Open Doors. I like it a lot. And we will get back to you after this song. Here we go.
On a desert floor, looking for your open Soon you and I, soon you and I will be revelated on a mountain side, hoping to scribe your open Soon you and I, soon you and I, through fire or refined gold, I am held by the one who holds each breath.
And there we go. So let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
Is it odd listening to your music back while we talk about it, or is that you've done it so much that it's normal now.
Yeah, it's fine. Like I don't I think kind of like a engineer or an architect when I'm design, they design, build buildings, they check their work, make sure,
Ah,
so
got
like
it.
and when you have to relearn your songs, you kind of have to go back and listen to them,
Sure.
and at least that's how I learn, is I have to go back and listen, and so I don't find it particularly weird,
Good. And
It's-
I didn't want to interrupt you when you were telling your life's journey story, but
Mm.
I have a very similar, pardon me, thing that I experienced in third grade.
Mm.
So third grade, little me, and we
Mm.
have this thing we're putting on for all of our parents, and we were singing "Bridge Over Troubled Waters," which is, I don't know if it's a hard song because after this experience, I never sang again. But
Mm.
the choir lady said, "Okay, what I want you to do, Michael, is go home and listen to your voice, and then you can improve." So I got the tape deck out and I recorded it. And I've only told this story to one other person. And the only reason I'm sharing it with you is because it's probably more common than just you and I having this experience.
Mhm.
So I went in the closet and I put my little tape deck, a little, the old big ones, and I sang to it and I listened to it back and I fucking hated it. Pardon my language.
No, you're good. You're good.
Hated it. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm horrible."
Mm.
And so then I I faked it. I lip synced. I mouthed the words during that little thing
Mm.
because I was just like mortified at how I sounded. And I
Mm.
didn't have the capacity to like go to an adult and say, "Okay, wait a minute. I was told to do this and I don't like it. Is it really that bad?" I was what, 10 going on 11? I
Mm.
mean, tiny little child. And I was raised under some not as challenging as your circumstances, but I didn't have a lot of security in my childhood.
Mm.
And so I didn't have a safe, like, adult that I could go do this with. And so
Mm.
I would, like, never ever sing. And
Mm.
then when it came to conversation on the internet in front of people live, I didn't really have a problem with it because I worked with a guy and his name was Jim. I'm not gonna say his last name, but he would answer the phone and I would hear him talk. And my mom called one time and thought it was me. And she was talking to him like it was me for a second. And she's like, "No, okay." And people would get us confused a lot. And
Mm.
I listened to his voice and I'm like, "He's got a great speaking voice. Jim sounds great." So if I'm getting confused with him, I don't have to be like embarrassed of my voice or not public speak or anything because he
Mm.
sounds good and I sound like him. So I must be good. And it was just a really interesting, weird thing to me when you were telling me that because I met you as your adult version who has gone through a lot with, my opinion, a lot of confidence, doing great, fantastic musician, and
Mm.
you went through all of that to get there.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's how life works for us, right?
Yeah.
But when you said that you didn't like your voice, I was just like, that's why I raised my hand and pointed to me. I'm like, yeah, been there. Know exactly what that's like.
Yeah.
So now I'm personally working on learning to sing, really, so I can go on Andy's thing and sing one time. That's all I'm going to do.
That'd be awesome. I remember a worship leader at a church I was in. He was from England, and he had said, "Everyone can sing. Everyone can sing. Everyone has a voice, and everyone can sing. They may not all sound like, the greatest or whatever, but everyone does have a voice, and everyone can sing. It's just a matter of finding the voice.
Right.
Once you find it, you're good to
Mm.
go."
And it's yours.
Mm-hmm.
And it was given to you.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that journey and that story for me is that anytime I struggle with an insecurity or I have something, I stop myself and I'm like, okay, where does this come from? Oh,
Mm.
wait, it comes from my child mind. And children don't have the experience to not make those value judgments against ourselves, which are not valid.
Yeah.
It's just that circumstance happened, and you think a thing, and some people will carry that their whole lives.
Yeah.
I shed most of it, and I'm thankful and blessed that I've had the desire to go do that. So I don't have a lot of hangups. I don't have insecurities. I'm sitting here not fanboying on you because you're a man,
Mhm.
but your body of work surpasses like people that we know on the radio that we can talk about. You have produced probably as many songs as like the Eagles,
Mm.
which is the greatest American rock band in my opinion. I could tell you why if you ever want to know, but each artist had a fantastic solo career afterward.
Mm. Yeah.
And to me, I mean, great as a band and then all great as individuals, they got my vote. But so
Yeah.
like I'm really a huge fan of yours, by the way. But
Mm.
when I'm talking to you here, you're David.
Yeah.
Because we've both been through a lot of weird things and crazy stuff. And
Yeah.
so again, part of the reason why I wanted to have you on. So thank you for being here. Thank you guys for listening. I didn't expect to share that story about me being so self-conscious about never singing.
Mm.
And when I've been practicing this in the past month-ish, maybe 5 weeks, when I'm in the car, I love singing. It
Mm.
feels good. Body feels good. Mind feels okay. All that poor little 10-year-old kid sitting in the closet listening back, being mortified is gone. So that's positive.
Yeah.
So, and I wouldn't have really, I never would have brought this out if it weren't for this conversation. So thank you.
That's all. You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah. God, God has a funny way of working things out with folks, you know.
A way that I don't comprehend and I don't even try to. So,
Yeah.
so where do you want to go from here? Do you want
Ah,
to take questions that I can read from both chats? Do you want to play Cadillac? Do you want, or I mean, a song? Sorry, a song. Doesn't have to be Cadillac. You play whatever you want.
no, I would love to do Cadillac for you. I don't know. Should I tell the story about that paranormal story thing?
Oh
or-
yeah, sorry. Yes,
no.
please
You're
do,
good.
please.
You're good. The moment that just happened, right, needed to happen. Like, I had a sense of something. I didn't know what it was, but I was like, something's got to happen. Something's gonna. What is it? There it was.
Yes,
So
well,
that's
thank you for listening. But yeah, tell me your paranormal story.
well. It just. I don't even. Maybe I shouldn't say because we're online and I'm out there now.
Or if you don't want to, don't.
Um.
And I'll share one of mine. No, I can't share that. I'll cry. I can't do that. I take back my promise to share one of mine because I can't.
You
Go
can,
ahead.
well, I mean, all right. So I'm out. There's some fields near where I'm staying right now, and then there's a lake. And that lake, all lakes in Texas, as I understand it, are man-made. This one is man-made, and it used to be an Indian burial. And it was a burial because they believed that there was like spiritual vortexes and stuff in the area or something. Of course, now it's a lake. You can still sense, if you're spiritually sensitive, you can still sense things. I don't know how to explain that, but you know.
I know what you mean.
So I'd be going out there before the rise of sun. In fact, that song I just played, "You Carry Me," the stars above our heads are lighting up the dark. Like that comes from being out in this field very early in the morning and just being with God and just praying and being with Him. I remember I've seen a lot of weird things out there, but I remember I felt like I was to go much further. It was like at 4 in the morning or something like that. Or was it 4? Yeah, I think it was 4 in the morning. I'm going out there and I get to the point that I normally go and I get an image in my head of me going even further down and praying near this thorn bush and closer to the lake. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's what I'll do. So I start moving down that direction. As I'm moving down, I see an apparition of some kind move across the fields from the lake. And I'm like, well, that's weird. And I just get a weird sense in my spirit. And then I felt like, keep going. So I was like, okay. So, God, if you want me to go, I'll go. And then I go to this little area and it's fine. I then get on my knee and I begin praying and I'm praying and I hear a whisper saying, "You're not alone." And I get a sense to look up. So I look up and I see one of those orbs that's moving very slowly over the sky. And I remember an elder of a tribe, he had told me that those orbs are watchers and they're always connected with something physical down on the earth that's moving.
Interesting.
And I was like, I should probably get out of here because that's not good. And I don't want to see what's moving down here. So I go, all right, Lord, what do I do? He says, keep going. Just pray. And so I kept praying. His peace was there. And then once I was done, I got up and it was, just go back. So I'm walking back, and I leave that little tree area and thorn bush and all that, and it's back to the fields, and I'm nearing this little way, and I can hear breathing in the background, like behind me, and I felt in my spirit, grab your gun. And I have a 6-shooter on me, so it's black powder, just in case if I run into coyotes. We've got bobcats, we've got mountain lions that roam around here. So just
rattlesnakes,
yeah. So I grab my gun, and he says, "You need to pull it out." And I said, "Okay." So I pull it out slowly, and I'm hearing this breathing, and I'm pretty certain it's like a cat, a big cat coming my way, and it keeps huffing and puffing, and it sounds like it's moving quickly. I'm like, okay. And then I don't hear anything else from God or anything like the Holy Spirit. I had no sense or anything. I just act on instinct. I turn around. It's a single shot. So I cock the pistol. And as I turn around, this humanoid is running, and it has black midnight eyes. And my gun is not very, it's cocked, and I'm like very close to this man's head, or this being, or whatever it is. This weapon is this guy right here.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Doesn't phase it.
So you fired a shot?
Did not fire a shot, actually. I felt the spirit of God on it to not fire.
Okay.
I was about to. Don't fire. And I'm following this thing as it's running by me. Doesn't notice me. Doesn't see me. It is just looking direct. My point being that if it was a human being and saw that,
it freaks.
Would have freaked out.
Yeah.
Would have been like, what the hell, or whatever, cold, dead cold.
Wow.
Just moving across. And I was just like, what did I just see? And I holster my gun, and I'm like, what was that? And as I'm moving to go continue down, because I'm basically following where he's going, because wherever he's going, or it's going, is where I'm going. And when I come around a corner where clearly he would be there, he's not there. And when I look a little further out where you would see him, he's nowhere to be found. And I prayed about it for the longest time. And my sense was, the word that I got was, they're here.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh,
that's not good.
And now you're seeing like the media beginning to talk about all this alien stuff, and
Sure.
like,
and the government.
Yeah, and just this whole, they're this, that, the other thing. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're demonic creatures that take on human form is what they are. And I don't know the interworkings and the mechanisms or even the proper names, but they are not human, whatever they are.
You talking about the politicians or the beings?
Whatever that was that I saw was clearly not a human being,
right?
They took on human form, and I thought it was a human until I realized the midnight eyes and the fact that it was not responding at all to the fact that there is a man dressed like he's from the 1800s holding out a giant fucking gun at his head, locked and loaded. And it's like,
no,
nobody just goes, oh, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm good.
It's like they freak out and then I'm calling the cops or whatever, it's like,
or at least deviate their path.
Yeah. No deviate, nothing.
Wow.
Yeah. And
interesting.
The sense was cold. I mean, I will be frank, like it was cold, and I know it sounds crazy, and I was not on drugs. I wasn't drunk or anything. I was as sober as you can be. And it freaked me out, but
I'm sure.
Yeah. The sense was that, and I've seen not freakier, but stuff on that kind of, not at that level, but right below it, happen. And
are they all kind of centered around that place?
A lot of it is. Yeah. A lot of it is. And that's that, because I kind of always thought that paranormal stuff out in that area was like just a bunch of, like, I believe in stuff like that, but it's like, maybe not there.
Right.
But after a while, I've come to conclude, I think there is something there, So
have you been to New Mexico ever?
I've passed through New Mexico, and I've been, Taos, Philemont, Scout Ranch, and there's another mountain out there that we did some hiking in.
Did you by chance get to the Taos Pueblo when you were in Taos?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, so there's an active Pueblo from the Taos Indians, and they live there still. And I'll tell you, when I went there, that feeling that you said, like you experienced at the lake,
Mm-hmm.
I felt that absolutely. The death and the carnage and the
Yeah.
unbelievable lack of life energy
Mm.
existed there, and it hit me in a way that we were walking around. My sister and I were coming back from my uncle's, and we're walking around, and she wanted a fry bread, and we're just looking at turquoise and nonsense, and we were there about 10 minutes. I'm like, I got to go to the car. This is not good.
Yeah.
And like you said, so when you said you don't know how to explain it, I don't know how to explain it either, but I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it's a weird thing.
it's kind of also strange to be like, I need to get out of here. It's like, well, he is kind of getting out of here himself. So maybe I just stand here.
Let him go.
That's
Let him
just-
run.
At any rate, so
Wow. Yeah, that's a good story.
interesting stuff.
All right, my friend. I'm gonna look into, if you can play something, you're welcome to. I'm gonna look into the Rumble and YouTube chat and see if anybody has any questions for you.
Okay.
And if they dropped it in there, forgive me. But while you play that, I'll make some notes and
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'll do a old Cadillac for you. This perfect song to get us out of that weirdness.
right on.
It's all for your entertainment, people.
Whenever you're ready.
And all you are is everything up on high and down below, through each side. As you may know, I go with you, my one true love. Like an old Cadillac, you ain't no act. You're everything, and you're singing over me, and I'm at your feet, kissing your heartbeat. This bed of roses are now burning. They'll be singing and I can hear your sound, lost in your song. And to sing along is to belong. Like an old Cadillac, you ain't no act. You're everything, and you're singing over me, and I'm at your feet, kissing your heartbeat. This bed of roses are now burning. They're singing out, yours is the name upon my lips. Not far from me is your promise. Like an old Cadillac, you ain't no act. You're everything, and you're singing over me, and I'm at your feet, kissing your heartbeat. This bed of roses are now burning. I've been singing out, oh, love. Love, 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 love,
You got me. I forget that ends so abruptly.
Yeah, I got tired of ending every song the same way, so I was like, let's try this.
By
the way,
no, I love that song.
2015 was when I wrote that one.
2015, 11 years ago. Can you believe that?
Yeah, in a small podunk town in Oklahoma in a cowboy church. That's where I wrote it.
Wow, cowboy churches. I got a question from Karen Carpenter. She wants to know if you have a favorite guitar, what is it and why?
If I have a favorite guitar, what is it and why? This is where I get shallow. I like the Gretsch hollow body guitar, the big one, and I like it because it looks real good. Can't tune it to save my life. It goes out of tune all the time, but it's a beautiful guitar. It is.
Gotcha. So that's your favorite.
Yeah.
Nice. And I've been reading the chats. Lots of praise on that song. Everybody loves it.
Oh, thank you.
YouTube especially. And in Rumble specifically, they're comparing your sound to Roy Orbison, Buddy Holly, Johnny Cash earlier. Somebody said, is that Johnny Cash? With your baritone. But
thank you.
Are any of those artists an influence to you?
Johnny Cash is an artist to whom his life is the thing that has been teaching me things. I love his songs. Songs are good, but it actually surprises a lot of people when they're like, so Johnny Cash is not like, you're not like this giant fan of his? Like, not really, no. Like, it's nothing against him. I think his work was great. I think he was a great storyteller, great, amazing voice. People may not know it, but I'm into voices. So like, I'll actually dig in. And the man like had a range, believe it or not. Like, I know we know him as a deep baritone, but boy, he could go down, bro. He was something else. But his story, and Roy Orbison is one that I've only recently become a student of and have fallen in love with, to be honest.
Okay.
So that one, and then Buddy Holly, I have gotten those comparisons, especially with wearing glasses and stuff. I always get Buddy Holly, and I literally don't even know how to play a Buddy Holly song right now. Like, I just don't know. But I did recently watch the 1978 movie about him, and Gary Busey was played Buddy Holly, which I never knew Gary Busey could play a serious role. And
Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah. At any rate, so I'm beginning to, I think, move into that direction. I was born backwards, so I guess I do things backwards.
Yes. Were you a Breach baby?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Roy Orbison and the Honey Drippers. Do you know the Honey Drippers?
I do not.
So he played in a band with Tom Petty, and they're called the Honey Drippers, and they put out a couple of albums. It was towards the end of his time.
Oh, okay. Was it Honey Drippers?
I think so. Could be wrong.
Yeah, I know. So Tom Petty, wasn't Bob in that too?
Do you remember when we met? I think that was the Honey Drippers.
The Traveling Wilburys.
Traveling Wilburys. My bad.
Yeah.
You're right.
Sorry,
I'm glad. I'm totally glad.
I didn't know if there was another band he was in that I wasn't, because like I said, I'm still learning his work. But yeah, Roy, boy, I tell you, there's that's a story, right? Like, Ooby Dooby, that was his song that he, and he was told that he would never be a ballad singer. Everyone said, you would never be ballad. Do not even try it. And how do we know him?
Yeah, most people got ballads. Yeah. Not a little pop icon when he was 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even I think he even had said that when he got to what song was it? In Dreams, I think it was. He didn't really understand his voice till then. And that's how I started identifying with his story. I was like, oh wow. So even in his later time on the earth, and he was beginning to, that's when he was really beginning to understand his range and his voice. But he would sing out in Texas, West Texas, oil fields, that kind of stuff. And Yeah, but the Traveling Wilburys, that I guess you would call it like a super group or something, like, because it was
Yeah,
like a lot of like it was like Johnny Cash with the Highwaymen, right? Like it's just
right.
all these really amazing artists coming together, and and they wrote some really good stuff. It's amazing how like he kind of owned the 60s, but everything kind of went to crap in the 70s, except that people did cover his music. And when they did well on the charts, but they covered his 60s stuff.
Yeah.
And then it was in the 80s that he kind of had that that new life.
And
And
it was like 85-ish,
yeah, yeah.
mid 80s before, and people like my age, I mean, unless you had parents who listened to that stuff, they're like, "Who is this new Roy Orbison?" It's like, no, he's not new, but yeah, he's pretty friggin' amazing. And I think the same phenomenon for me is with Meatloaf.
Mm,
People in our generation didn't know he was as amazing of an artist and vocalist as he really was.
mm,
Fantastic. And anytime I worked with my last job, I worked at a restaurant and a lot of young kids, and
mhm,
they were all listening to this crap because all they put out is R&B now. It's hard to find, new rock bands, and new wave's gone and punk's gone, and it's just hip hop. And I would say, hey, I send them a link. I go listen to this, go listen to this, and they heard Meatloaf, and they're like, who is this guy?
yeah,
His voice is like incredible.
yeah.
And then I said, do you ever see Fight Club? And they say, yeah, why? I said, my name is Robert Paulson. And they're like, no way. And it's really interesting. Like you said, Roy found his voice later. You got divorced and got your range.
Yeah. Yeah. Wild. It's weird.
So something good came out of that,
Ah, God,
right?
it works in mysterious ways.
Yes. What a crazy adventure is this thing we call life.
Amen. Amen.
I need to check back.
You're good. Yeah.
I just want to see if there were any questions I missed while we were talking, because it's really hard to talk to you and focus and read two chats and not make a mistake.
You're doing amazing. You're doing
So
phenomenal.
I want to make sure. Traveling Wilburys. Yeah, I'm not sure why I screwed that up.
Oh, no, it's
I'm glad you corrected me though, because now I need to go back and look and figure out why.
yeah. I think, didn't they do anything you want? Anything you want,
Yes,
baby.
absolutely.
Yeah, I always liked that one. I used to know how to play that one by heart, but I'm gonna have to relearn it at some point.
Hey, Crunchy B, nice to see you. Metal Spawn, Dr. Bass Ackwards, Jerry's here. Truth Violates Community Guide. Nice to see you. You got some claps and some thumbs up. I'm very excited. I do encourage y'all, and I put the links down, but I know Indy's been dropping the links to your music, David. I encourage you all to go subscribe for one. Secondly, if you collect digital music, go over to Bandcamp. I know a lot of you missed it because you were elsewhere, but David has produced 125 original works, albums, EPs, and 82 singles since 2003. So you got a lot of music to catch up on. And it's all on YouTube, probably. Bandcamp, maybe. I'm not sure exactly how you break that down. But if you like David, if you like what he's doing, please give him a follow. He puts out an album. He's not going to blast your subscriptions with nonsense every day. And if you just need some chill out music, this is the guy. So,
especially being on the road, I won't be too active on social media.
right. Yeah. Because you're coming to Colorado, going to be hanging out, Colorado Springs area. As you do that, then everybody loves Meatloaf in the chat. So that's good. Z wants to know, did you have inspirational bands? Because the ones that I mentioned clearly were not, for reasons you told us, which is great. But did you have any, like, besides Prince?
I didn't even know it was Prince till years later, and I even thought Prince was a woman until I also thought David Bowie was.
Bowie might have been, but
I always thought, like, I have an aunt. She's a wonderful aunt, and she always like did her makeup and hair that looked like David Bowie. And I would get when I was really young, I'd get confused about it because I'd be like,
is that a woman? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fairly androgynous, though. I mean, Blondie at the same time. If she
Mhm.
were taller and a little thinner, she'd look just like David Bowie.
Yeah. So bands. Yes. I'm generally embarrassed about talking about it only because it's like very plain, basic bands. So U2 was a very big one. And then there was, and this is early on, right? U2, um, Radiohead, Outkast, and then I liked, let's see, Rich Mullins really influenced me. Still does today. I think Rich Mullins was probably the greatest songwriter that graced us in our time here on the time frame we're in. And Carmen was one that I really liked. And I understand if you were to listen to Carmen's music now, you might be like, he just programs a Casio piano and then sings gospel over it. Like, what was the big deal? Look, as an 8-year-old boy, it was the jam. Okay.
Yeah.
And it did influence me because it influenced me to kind of do it on my own kind of thing. Cause that's what I did. So yeah, early on, that was pretty much, I
Nice.
mean, it's very basic. I think Coldplay kind of came in there somewhere along the lines that the first two records to this day, I still think were really, really good records. And the Killers and Franz Ferdinand and Interpol kind of came in a little later, but those would pretty much be like the base bands that influenced me or musical artists.
Gotcha. Well, and you've clearly done your own thing with, you didn't copy any of them. You didn't say, okay, I love Radiohead, so I'm going to sound like Radiohead.
Oh no. I have maybe I destroyed those recordings. I hope I did. Dear God, I did try.
They're probably
few
still on
times.
MySpace.
Is MySpace still around?
Yeah, it still exists. I have a MySpace.
Oh no.
It's algorithm. Yeah.
Yeah. So anytime I would try something like that, it just sounded bad enough to me that I was like, no. In fact, I do have a project still active that's called Numeric, and that is one where I kind of get Radioheady, but it's embellishing in music is what it is. So it's very strange music.
Do you have fun with it?
I do. Yeah, it's an outlet. It's an
Yeah.
outlet that I felt was good to maybe share with any weirdos out there that are into that kind of thing, because weirdos need music too. So
Everybody needs music.
amen.
Do you have something you want to play, or can I play another one of your songs?
Yeah, go ahead. Anything you've got there, unless you've got a request, or did somebody request something in? Oh, it was John.
Yeah.
I love you, brother. One day.
John requested the hard one that here we go.
Stars above our heads are lighting up the dark. It's as if you have left your mark, and you carry me in the depths of your heart, in the depths of your heart. The sense of sins hanging in the air. If I close my eyes, it's as if you're right there, and you carry me in the stars fall from the sky. We won't ever have to wonder why.
I do apologize. I think I played that one live for you, and then now yeah.
No, there's nothing to apologize for. That's great.
I did see somebody in the chat in Rumble, and they were like, "That's the best filter for that town." I'm like, "Yes, it was my birthplace, my friend, and it is perfect." In fact, if I could have just made it a little darker, and a shot actually went with a buddy out there to shoot film early Sunday morning, where nobody was around, so it was a ghost town. But it does get active there somehow. I don't ask me. I don't know what the magic is there. Corsicana, baby. It's known for its fruit. Is it fruit pies? I think it is, or fruit cakes. Known for its fruit cakes. So if you love fruit cakes, you're just like, I gotta have them. Corsicana is known for that.
So that could be what keeps it alive.
Yeah, yeah. The interesting thing about it, the saying about it is, it was the first place we struck oil in Texas.
Oh,
so it has that from like way back in the day. But after that, it just kind of, well, God be with it.
So you have a band. Let's talk about your band a little bit.
Oh, yes. Oh, Lord, yes.
Your band is called David Joshua and the Dark Horses.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you've got a page up. We've got the links out.
All right.
You've got one thing posted. Are we going to hear more from y'all? Or are you guys going to... Do you play on a regular down there?
Well, so I don't know how to explain this one. Little background, right? So I mentioned the David Trust stage name. So 19, 20 years old, there's about. I get a band together, David Trust and the Weathermen. We morph into American Strange. We're basically desert rock. By about 2010, I walk away from that. I swear I'll never form a band again. Meet the guy named John Martin. We formed Velvet Guard. I mentioned that a little earlier. We did that 2011, 2012. Somewhere in there, I developed the numeric thing. And then we both prayed about it and sensed it was good to lay that to rest. And actually, what I was doing, I was going up to Oklahoma to serve in a church, to lead worship and youth and all that kind of thing. And kind of went back to solo. And while up there, I had an experience. And in that spiritual experience, I felt like I was to just go with my name, David Joshua, because it's my first and middle name. Also, while up there, I had a dream. And in that dream, I had, I was at like a barn or something, barn revival. And because we did barn revivals, but it was like raining, it was a barn revival, all this kind of thing. Everybody was gathered in the barn, but this dark horse came and it wouldn't come into the barn, but nobody could come out and tame it. It was very wild. And here I am, the boy who was the city boy who was coming out to the country. And I'm getting around to the answer. I promise you this. I'm not trying to be a politician. No, we'll open the hormones right now. Somehow. No, I'm sorry.
We're going to close this straight.
And now we're going to close it.
We're going to close it.
It was all a part of the plan, guys. Good luck with your empty bellies. No, but seriously. So,
trust the plan.
You are the man. I love you. You are. That's good. So I go out to go tame the horse, and somehow I'm connected with the horse. Like the horse understands me. I understand the horse, and we kind of ride off together. And the congregation is actually at peace about it. They're like, oh, okay. Fast forward to more recently, as a solo act, here I am going out and playing at these bars and venues and open mics. And I have a drummer who is like, man, I would like to drum for you, and incredible drummer, Mark Brewer. And so we're doing stuff together. And I remember right after my divorce, a man named Jeff Spires, we'd known each other a bit, but he took me aside and he said, hey, I want to produce your next record. I really want to record you at a proper studio. I think I've got a good drummer for you. Happy to be Mark Brewer. And so we got in and recorded Northern Horizon around 2020. because Dallas, Texas, and even though we had a judge who was like really weird about the things at that time, a lot of people there were like, whatever, like we're just going to do our thing
anyway. Yeah.
And so then from there, there was a fiddle player, and she wanted to start playing music with me up there with Mark. Her name was Alice, and she's already involved with a group, Jacob Price Saz and the Loose Ends, incredible group. I highly encourage you to check them out. And then they would do duo things and stuff like that. And so I think she was trying to work on her fiddling and stuff because she was new to it. And when she started playing with me, it seemed like she was more interested in playing, not just to noodle around and learn more, but she liked the songs, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so between Mark and Alice and myself, we were just like this little group. And so slowly but surely, Jacob comes in and is doing the bass, and Richard is doing the guitar, which is basically Jacob Price Saz and the Loose Ends backing my band ultimately, or my music, being the backing band or whatever. But and so we were my point in it is that we kind of just slowly, organically came together.
Gotcha.
And there was really no formal statement of anything till we finally got a show in 2023, which is that's the clip, the only live clip we got from that one.
Okay.
And that's what's posted on that YouTube channel right now page, which I should have made back then, but a lot was going on. But we're going to be David Joshua and the Rattlesnake Handlers, because we're making kind of fun of the idea of he's a Christian and it's pretty obvious about it. So we handle the rattlesnakes. But I think it was Alice that reached out to me, and she had said something about a dark horse because she was thinking about a band title, like something that would work, just offering something up. And the day she had reached out to me was a day that I was reminded of that dream I had back in Skiatook,
Sure.
the small town in Oklahoma. And it was like synchronicity, right? Like what we had earlier.
Yeah,
right?
flooded completely back.
And so Dark Horses, it's going to be the Dark Horses, David Joshua and the Dark Horses. And everyone was like, yeah, and I like that idea because it kind of gives, when you do the dark horse, like when you do something, the something and the something, you kind of give those artists the freedom to move about. So it's like that one was once a dark horse. They're still a dark horse, but they're not really playing with David anymore because they got really busy. And so they do that now, or what have you. Whereas for me, I've always thought of, if you're a band, you're a band. And then once, like when Interpol lost their bass player and their bass player was like, I'm out. I was like, well, you're not really Interpol anymore.
Yeah. Dead to me. Yeah.
Like I still like the records after that, but there is something missing, guys. So, which by the way, saw them live, Interpol, incredible.
Yeah.
I had no idea they could be that good, but they were that good.
Not just the studio band.
Yeah, like and there's this presence and a spirit about it that's like maybe not good, but I liked it at the time. I don't know. So I don't know. Here's to you, Paul. Thanks.
I think the strongest example in music that most people who have listened to this are of age wise, Van Halen and Van Hagar.
Yeah.
Some people have a favorite, some people can respect both and appreciate parts of both. But you're right, you lose that piece and it's not the same, but the dark horses are always going to be the dark horses.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how we formed. And
Nice.
And so I again, I'm probably doing things backwards because that may have been our peak. I don't know. Like I always like to try to walk through life with open hands, because open palms rather, because I know that everything that is freely given is freely given away. And so it's not for us to take, and it's not for us to keep to ourselves. And if it's time, if the thing has come and gone in its season, holding onto that rope as it's leaving you isn't going to make it any better. You're just going to rip your hands up.
And it's not going to change it. Yeah.
Yeah. But that gives a name and it gives an image to more than just me, because it's not just me on those songs, right? It's not like The Threshold, the most recent record I put out. Yeah, that is just me. But like Commonwealth, others are involved, right? Northern Horizon, others are involved. Those songs can truly only live when everybody's there, it seems. and I believe that.
Sure.
If I just played you Mended acoustic, it has its power to it, but there is such a different depth and height and moment when the whole band is there. And so, and I think that's what the song says needs to be done. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, the song will tell you what to do. And at any rate, I'll stop now. But
No, it's all good. There was I made a note that, where was it? You went to,
oh,
okay, so Threshold and Opulent Shadow were at Trusted D Studios, right?
yes. Oh, yeah.
And then Commonwealth was at the Kitchen Studios.
Mhm.
And if it's not a non-legal thing you can speak about, I'm curious, for any musicians out there, or even just curious people like myself, what's the difference? Why not one? And do these people support you, or do they extort you for money to use their studios? And what's the story?
So the Kitchen Studios is a place where you pay, for the hours, and rightfully so. JP's the guy who runs that place. Incredible individual. He pours out into the community like crazy.
Good guy.
Very good man. Love the studio. I still have an entire record sitting there that needs to be finished. And I know my drummer is sitting there going, "Dude, we need to get to those songs." And I'm like, "I know." But time, money, just things,
Sure.
and all in its time. I mean, I've got a song called Babylon Cries. It's one of my favorites that I've written in a long time. And I'm just like, because I write a lot, right? Like we've established. So not every song I write, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. But there are
Yeah.
some songs when I write, I'm like, there's some power. I'm going to enjoy playing this one live. If this catches, I'm not going to mind playing this every night, right? Or every so often, or what have you. Like Heaven Sent and Mended, those have lasted for a long time.
Yeah.
So the Kitchen Studios is based in Dallas. There are things about it that production wise that I and others have said, you sound a little better this way than that way. Just because of the way it's set up. But then there are things about it that I can't get out of Trusty Studios. Trusty Studios is my studio. That's what I go under. I go under it because I had that name, David Trust. So
Oh,
Trust D, like Trust David
got
Studios.
it. Okay.
And so, yeah, so if I have any issues with Trusty Studio, then I probably need to go see
You got to talk to the owner,
something. You know? How many voices are you hearing in your head now, David?
or a good sweat lodge session.
Oh, yes, sir. In Opulent Shadow, that was a time where I didn't have the funds to go to Kitchen Studio, but I
Okay.
had these songs, and I felt strongly they needed to get out there. And I was recording with the same setup that I had had since I was 17.
Oh, wow.
An MR8 little Porto studio, little crown looking Porter studio, digital studio to ScanDisk that I would USB to my laptop. Now I went from Screen Blast software for recording to some freebie thing on here that I still use. It's just proof you don't need $1 million to do this. You can do it. And in the middle of that recording, I remember the MR8 studio, little Porto studio finally crapped out on me. I mean, it was a mess. It was a mess. It had been through so much. It had been traveling all around, and I don't know how it survived that long, but I remember that moment in my little studio because I broke down and cried, and I was like, God, what am I supposed to do? In fact, the song Ruins comes from the one that 15th and a lot of people seem to like. Is it was that song very specifically was born out of that moment of just I'm ruined. Like,
Yep. It's over.
and the whole, I mean, I'm an adult man and I turn into a boy in that moment. And the Lord really, his presence just moved on me and he said, son, there's another one out there. And I'm like, I only have this much money. He says, son, look it up,
Relax.
please.
Yeah.
And I looked it up, and for that exact amount of money, it was there, and I could get it in time to get the project finished because I had something else I had to get around to, and I wouldn't have time for the project. And it came in when it came in. Whoever had it before, not only did they keep it pristine, but there was a song. Somebody left a song. It was just the vocals, and it was "Trust in the Lord you know, and lean not on your own understanding. I think I have it as I went ahead and mixed it as a free track that's hidden or something on Bandcamp, if I'm not
Nice.
mistaken. And so I think that one's still out there right now. But let's see. I'm actually curious now. Sorry, everyone.
No. Search away. Search away.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So if you download the record itself, it's like hidden in there, and you'll see it because it's free. It's you can't get it individually. But the individual was just singing a psalm, is what they were doing, and
Nice.
I was free to finish the record and realize that God does care about. And for anyone out there who's like, man, that seems kind of dumb, David. Come on, like what? God cares about all the things down to the details. So just know that, like. If it breaks you, it breaks him. Just know that. All right. Like I don't know how else to say it, but he cares even when it doesn't seem like he does. And if it breaks you, it breaks him. So, yeah. So that was, I share that because of the fact it was just, but with Trustee Studios, I had absolute creative control where I could just, really embellish on this Western thing. Cause if you listen to a lot of my songs, they're not all really at least to me, they're not very Western, but everyone would be like, you're just a cowboy, so like do that. And so I was like, why not embellish? And I kind of enjoyed it. And for my voice, it gave my voice freedom to really be expressed in it. Whereas with Kitchen Studios, with all due respect, my voice seems to lose something in the production quality. And I don't think it's even Kitchen's issue. It's my issue trying to learn my vocals, because I know with even Roy Orbison, again, diving into his voice, diving into his life and his art, he couldn't just record anywhere. Like they learned that, okay, the best places for him to record are these areas. And he recorded a lot of his music laying down on his back.
No way.
Yeah. He believed that you could sing way better that way.
Wow.
But they would have to give him specific kind of microphones to really pick his voice, like bring it up properly.
Mm-hmm.
So, like the Shure M80s, I think they're M80s is what they're called. I'm so great at the technology. Those are kind of industry standard, but my voice doesn't sound as good behind those as some other microphone that I can't remember. Is probably the reason why I don't have one right now. But a guy who's actually experienced in live music in a lot of ways, he had seen me playing a gig once, one of those 3-hour gigs, and he came up to me and said, "What kind of microphone?" That's an SM80, 58 or whatever. And he was like, "Your vocals would sound better on this one instead, I think." And I remember trying one of those in a studio that I recently recorded at, and I can tell you, sounds a lot better. Like it just captures the voice. I don't know what it is. It's just,
He says, "Yep, you're right." Wow.
Yeah. So at any rate,
Interesting. Well,
yeah.
see, so musicians and budding musicians who may listen to this back in the future, A, don't believe anybody that says you can't do it. Secondly, keep working until you find the right niche. If it's in your heart and you want it, just keep going until it happens, because it's going to happen.
Amen.
If it's in your heart, it's going to happen. So very good. I don't know how much time you have. We didn't talk about timelines or time frames or anything. We're doing this just basically on the wing, folks, but I've got one more song of yours that I've got queued up that I want to play.
Okay. All right.
And if you think up something while we do this, I'm going to go read chat and listen to this. And if you think you want to play something, or if you got something you want to touch on, do that. If not, then we'll cover where everybody can find you and continue to find you.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Very good then. Oh, you got it. Stand by. Oh, try it again.
On the land in the garden of the gods, cut was my hand and the blood did flow. Through a prayer so unaware of those before and here after. You gave your blood. You gave your blood. Sweet little chariot, swing low, my love. This would all be yours if you gave this love. You gave your blood. You gave your blood. On the land and the garden of the gods, cut was my hand and the blood did flow. Seems just like yesterday. Still, I know it was that
There we go.
There we go. Oh, that's the first one you played off that record.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Yeah, the song was it came from visiting. You're probably familiar with the Valley of the Gods, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Garden of the Gods.
Garden of the Gods. I
Yeah, for
apologize.
sure.
Yeah. At any rate, I'm sorry. That's just it's cool that
No,
you went to
don't.
that song.
Yeah.
Uh, is that it's a true story. I legitimately visited there with my friends in Colorado Springs, and they were like, "You got to go to the Garden of the Gods." I'm like, "Okay." So we go down there, and his wife loves to take pictures. So we get to that place. There's like a rock. I'm sure you're familiar with. Well, I mean, it's the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like she's like, "Everybody likes to get pictures up there. You should get up there and take a picture. Yeah, or I'll take a picture of you up there or whatever." And so that's where that picture comes from. But I remember placing my hands on the rock and pulling myself up and getting up and all that kind of thing. And the moment I had touched that rock, I had this sense in my spirit of like human sacrifices. I was like, what? Huh.
Mm.
But I ignored it. And we did the pictures. And then I got off the rock and we're going back to the car. And I do what I do. I kind of do my nose like this and I smell blood. I'm like,
Wow.
what? And I look and it's a little bit of blood on my hand. I'm like, okay, that's weird. That sense on the rock and then the blood. And then I just kind of wipe it off, like whatever. And then I'm like, that feels weird. I look down and my hand is just really blooded here. So I cut my hands up on the rock. My soft, pure little hands
Oh.
got cut up on the rock. Mountain man that I am. So that song is what, upon the garden of the gods, cut was my hand and the blood did flow. And that's what it came from.
A
And
literal
then
song.
prayer, yeah, and all that. So trying to point back obviously to Jesus, restoring us through his
Sure.
sacrifice. But yeah.
Nice.
All right. I'll be quiet now.
No, not a bit. No, I think that's great because as a non-musician, non-songwriter, I'm always really curious where these lyrics come from. And in any band, and I've come to find out like a lot of the bands we grew up with are pedo creepos writing crazy songs that like Bruce Springsteen.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? It's like, whoa, time. That's not good. And so for you to cut your hand, write a literal song, but then attribute it back to what you see as Jesus doing that for you is like, that's really neat to me. I like that. I do want you to, when you go back to the Springs,
Mm-hmm.
if you go back to the Garden of the Gods,
Yeah.
that rock, I can't remember the name of the damn rock, but if you get the right angle when you're looking beneath it, there's now a steel rod holding it in place.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And the story, the local story, it's not on the website. I can't find it anywhere, but the local story is that in about the 60s, it fell over. And they didn't want to ruin the attraction.
Gotcha.
So if I don't know how well you remember that setting, but the parking lot's there, and then you've got the two roads going beside it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And where the parking lot is, there's not many spaces, like 8 spaces or something. If you park there and you're basically going northwest towards it, there's a gap in the bottom of that rock, and you can see the steel rod. I took pictures of it last time I was there.
Wow. I'll have to look out for that.
So there's like this probably, I'm guessing it's probably like 4 inches across. It's a giant steel rod holding that rock up.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it totally blows the illusion, but and maybe I'm from my life experience. We touched on a couple things so you could get to know me a little bit or before this, but I'm like so black pilled that I'm coming back to white pill, which is why part of why I wanted to do this with you is in spite of, I'm just guessing, you and I could probably talk for like 3 hours about all the stuff that's going on in the realm. All the things, all the politics, all the nonsense, all the fake this and COVID that, and we could probably talk about everything. But in spite of that, here's a man who makes music that inspires me to want to reach out and say, please tell me your story. Because I don't do that much. And maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, whatever. But the way you show up in my reality is like, I want to get to know this guy a little bit. I want to hear what he's got to say. I want to know why he's doing what he's doing. I want to know these influences. I want to know these things. And to me, that's hope. That's like a hopeful thing. If I were really black-pilled, as they say, I would just sit in the corner and tweet about how the world's going to have famine.
Yeah.
Which we're probably going to, but I'm still hopeful in that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, thank you. That means a lot, Mike. That's yeah, I'm that guy who sees the black pill on the desk and I keep circling around it, and when nobody's looking, I put it in my mouth for a minute. I'm like, I'll swallow it soon, and then I'm like, no, don't do it, David. Don't do it. Don't go there. Not just yet.
right.
It's got to be. There's another sunrise, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Singing through the storm. Yeah, there's a lot, and there's so I said there's a whole record in the kitchen studios where David, Joshua, and the Dark Horse, we have some songs we are working on right now. I mean, some stuff. Actually, I don't know. I may have mentioned it on this impromptu live stream I did. I don't live stream often because I'm not very good at marketing, apparently, because I don't know. But it's this it's kind of got that sound that is, I can't even do it now, but it's beginning to take that Middle Eastern sound and merge it with the Americana.
Gotcha.
And it's come naturally. Like it was not a I'm looking for this, even though I always thought that like Kashmir and stuff Led Zeppelin and others will do, where it kind of sounds, kind of like it's venturing into that arena. I thought that was always kind of neat. But like we're working on some songs
Good.
that are beginning that are looking at what's going on right now and going, the fuck you will,
Good for you. Good. No, that's awesome.
Because I mean, I'm not. I'm not a soldier, right? I'm not. Like, I'm just not. I'm not a cook. I'm not a manager. I'm not a finance guy. I'm a musician. I'm a singer-songwriter. So how do I respond to what's going on? First, I go to God and I go, I'm sorry about what I'm about to do. And then I go out and I write the songs, and that's how I respond. And that's coming. So Lord willing.
I'm looking forward to it because I think the voices out in the blogosphere are so loud and untrusting right now, to where everybody who has something to say about it that has more than 10,000 subscribers is a shill or paid for by somebody or getting checks from somebody. And the one thing that does transcend a lot of that noise to me is music.
Yep.
Even though some of those anti-war bands of the 60s were fully CIA controlled through the Tavistock Institute in Laurel Canyon.
Yeah.
The song still hit somebody in a way that said, okay, wait a minute. I'm not going to put my energy into murdering God's children.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm all about. I don't have answers for why we're here or a lot of time what we're doing. But one thing I do know is that we're really not supposed to be murdering each other.
No, that's one of my go-tos in the Bible is Jesus lays it out pretty clear. Steal, kill, destroy. That's the devil's realm. That's the evil. Ha-shaitan. That's wickedness. So if it's stealing, if it's lying, if it's killing, if it's destroying, that's not good. Right?
Yeah.
Like, even if you're not a believer or you have any faith in any of this stuff, like, you should at least be able to have enough moral to go, yeah, those aren't good. Those things are not good. We should not be lying. We should not be killing each other. We should not be stealing, and we shouldn't be destroying things. Right? Like this. We should be living for life and life more abundantly. And that's why if ever this group, Lord willing, we get this thing out there, my hope is not for anti-war songs, but pro-life songs.
There you go.
We're not fighting against you anymore. We're fighting for something. And we're reminding you that this matters, that this life matters, these lives matter. And on both sides, that life across this board matters, because from what I can see, it's really, I mean, geez, it's these leaders and these groups that, like you had kind of mentioned earlier, may or may not be human, that are getting us riled up, divided, and wanting to kill each other. And there's a lot of people, like just people who are like not even interested in buying into that anymore. They're just like, I'm just trying to survive. Can you stop bombing my country, please? Can we
Exactly.
start there? And oh, Lord, yeah, I could go off. I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't go off like that. It is past midnight in Dallas, so maybe it's okay.
No, don't. This is a place where we don't apologize unless we really do something wrong.
All right.
Then that's my realm and my. I started out as a free will zone.
Mm.
If you're going to come on here, and usually what I'll do is I'll talk about stuff, and then people come up one at a time, and we talk about whatever they want to talk about. Free will zone, and unless you really do something wrong, no reason to apologize. I like the fact that your head is in that place because I think you have a powerful voice, and the dark horses can help bring that too.
Mm.
And so I really encourage people, if you want to hear this album, go give them a tip, go buy an album, go give a follow, support David. They can get the money. They can produce this album. He can play it. We can go back and touch on it again. I can promote it, whatever happens, because we're not in a really good shape here as men and women in this realm right now. Things are not great, and we have a lot of work to do to make them better. And somebody with your spirit who's willing to go put all your time and effort into making songs to say, no, we're not going to be anti anything. We're going to be pro everything good is a really important thing. And I'm kind of trying to transition to that.
Yeah.
From being the guy that says, hey, did you see this new thing that's going to kill us? Did you see this new thing that's going to kill us? That's not getting us anywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm excited that you're headed that direction. And I hope to see that album sooner than later.
Thank you. Prayers and best wishes are always appreciated.
There you go.
Yeah. And if anyone's interested, check out the records. And if you like them, buy them, and tell your friends and tell your neighbors by turning it up. I don't know.
Hey, and tell your enemies, because they may say, I got to see why this guy is such a son of a bitch, and I'm going to go listen to what he likes and see if I hate it.
Yeah.
And they may buy it.
So funny you said that. I've been trying to stop saying that, but in the early days, we would say, tell your friends, tell your family, and tell your enemies. We literally would say that, because just you never know. You never know what might happen.
No, and
like in the hope that something good will come. Where it's like, oh, wait a second, I thought we were against each other, and then you realize we're the same. We're
like the same music,
in air, and we're experiencing things that are troubling us and hurting us. And you're not actually my enemy, and I'm not actually your enemy. No way. And it's like, yeah, we can get back to those basics of reality and move past the madness that they are trying so hard. And they've always been trying, it's the way I see it. They've been trying since the garden. So,
yeah.
At any rate, that's
haven't got us yet.
No.
I mean, 4 albums for $56 is like $14 and some change for 8 to 12 songs. It's way less expensive than going to iTunes and buying nonsense shit. So check out David's links, support him as you can. It is late. And I'm not going to keep you because you've got things and we got things and the chat's got things, but do you want to say anything? Do you want to play anything? Is there anything we're leaving on the table that we're not going to be able to say, okay, I left it all out there?
Man, I'll tell you, I get a sense we're going to talk again, more than once and more than one place. So I think we've covered a lot.
Yes,
and
we
thank
have.
you so much. I thank you for sharing about yourself and allowing me to be able to share with others, and everyone who's come into the chat, who's supported Mike, and each of the people in the chat, supporting the people in the chat and supporting the work that I've been doing. And I just pray God's best for everyone out there. I really do. Take every day, one day at a time. And I know this sounds cliche, but don't be afraid to be who you are. I think it needs to be said more than once, because everything's telling you to not, even within you, you got things that are pulling at you. Not, well, I got to be like this. I gotta be who God created you to be. Be that, because we're not human doers. We're human beings. So we come from being, right? Our do will come from the being, right? That's how things change. So, at any rate, I just, if I could be on a pedestal for just a sad minute now, I'm going to fall off.
Well said. God don't make no junk.
Amen.
No matter what the world tells you. With that, I'm going to play this little outro thing that I like so much. And thank you all for being part of this. Thank you for supporting what you like, including me and David. And I'll be around next week. And we'll go back to the regular format. And I hope that you give me some words either next week or in the comments at the bottom if you like this kind of format. If you're like, dude, you suck at interviews, don't ever do this again, that's fine too. I want to know what you do, because I do this not only for myself but for you. And from David and myself, thank you guys so much for being part of this, and thanks. Have a good night.
Humans say dogs are man's best friend.
That's fine. We're their boss.